Hi, my name is Takuzo Ganre. I'm a former A-level student and I graduated high school with straight A stars, and I'm here to help you do the same, or if not, just to make A-level maths a little less challenging for you. So in this video, we'll be solving simultaneous equations. So number one has two equations, the first one being a quadratic, y equals x squared plus 5x minus 2, and the second one being a linear equation, y equals x plus 3. So in this case, y is already the subject of the formula in the linear equation. So we can substitute y with x plus 3 in the quadratic equation. So this would become x plus 3 is equal to x squared plus 5x minus 2. Now let's move x plus 3 to the right hand side. So it becomes x squared plus 5x. This x becomes negative x. This 3 becomes negative 3. Negative 2 is equal to 0. And let's simplify this. It becomes x squared plus 4x minus 5 is equal to 0. Let's solve the quadratic. You can use any method you like, but in this example we will use factorization. And so this is 5 minus 1. So x is equal to 1 and x is equal to negative 5. Now let's find the y coordinates. We have the x values now. So at x is equal to 1, y is equal to, we will use the linear equation y equals x plus 3. So let's substitute x with 1. Y equals 1 plus 3, which gives us y equals 4. So therefore the answer here would be 1, 4. Now let's evaluate the y coordinate at x is equal to negative 5. Again, we'll use the linear equation y equals x plus 3. Substitute x with negative 5, and this becomes y is equal to negative 2. So here the coordinates are negative 5, negative 2, and this is the final answer. Now let's move on to question number 2. So the quadratic is x squared plus y squared is equal to 5, and the linear equation is x plus y equals 3. So let's start by making x the subject of the formula in the linear equation. So that would be x is equal to 3 minus y. Now let's substitute the x in the quadratic with 3 minus y. So it would become 3 minus y squared plus y squared is equal to 5. Now let's expand this bracket. It becomes 9 minus 6y plus y squared plus y squared is equal to 5. And then y squared plus y squared will give us 2y squared minus 6y plus 9. Let's move this 5 to the left hand side. It becomes negative 5 is equal to 0. So this becomes 2y squared minus 6y plus 4 is equal to 0. Again, you can solve this quadratic however you like, but in this example we will use factorization. Okay, so this should be 1 and this should be 4, negative, negative. So here this becomes 2y minus 4 equals 0, and this is y minus 1 equals 0. So y is equal to 2 here and y is equal to 1. Now let's evaluate the x coordinates. We can use this equation here to get our x coordinates. So let's start with when y is equal to 2. So that's x is equal to 3 minus, substitute y with 2. 3 minus 2, and x is equal to 1. So our coordinates here would be 1, 2. Now let's evaluate x when y is equal to 1. So that's x is equal to 3 minus 1. X is equal to 2. So the coordinates here would be 2, 1. And that would be the final answer. Now let's move on to question number 3. So our quadratic is 3y squared plus y plus 10 minus x equals x squared, and our linear equation is 2y minus x equals 1. Let's make x the subject of the formula in our linear equation. So this would become x is equal to 2y minus 1. So we've moved the negative x to the right hand side, and we've moved the 1 to the left hand side. Okay, now let's substitute x in the quadratic with 2y minus 1. So this would become 3y squared plus y plus 10 minus x is 2y minus 1. And remember to put brackets because we are going to multiply by a negative sign, is equal to x squared. X is 2y minus 1. Okay, now let's expand. This becomes 3y squared plus y plus 10 minus 2y minus minus 1, which is plus 1, is equal to, let's expand that bracket, becomes 4y squared minus 4y plus 1. Let's put everything on the left hand side, so it becomes 3y squared. If we move 4y squared to the left, it becomes negative 4y squared plus y. If we move negative 4y, it becomes positive 4y. And then there's a minus 2y here, plus 10 plus 1. Then if we move this 1 to the left hand side, it becomes negative 1 is equal to 0. So 3y squared minus 4y squared gives us negative y squared. Y plus 4y is 5y minus 2y, that's 3y. Then 10 plus 1 minus 1 is 10, is equal to 0. Let's multiply through by negative 1 to make this quadratic positive. So it would become y squared minus 3y minus 10 is equal to 0. Again, we'll solve our quadratic by factorization. However, you can use any method that you like. So that's 5 and 2. Negative 5, positive 2. So the roots of our quadratic equation are y equals negative 2 and y equals 5. Now we need to find the x values. We will use this equation. X is equal to 2y minus 1. So at y equals negative 2, this would be x is equals to 2 multiplied by negative 2 minus 1, which is x is equal to negative 4, negative 1, which is x is equal to negative 5. So the coordinates here would be negative 5, negative 2. Now let's evaluate at y is equal to 5. That would be x is equal to, remember we're using this equation here, x is equal to 2, replace y with 5 minus 1. And this becomes x equals 10 minus 1, x equals 9. Therefore, the coordinates are 9, 5. And this would be your final answer. That's all for today's video. Thank you for watching.